Old Gaige Grosskreutz has been out of the limelight for a while now, ever since the trial. Oh, he's got that big old lawsuit coming. His lawyer, Kimberly Motley, is cooking up some amazing legal strategies, I'm sure, to get him to rake in tens of millions of dollars. And part of that legal strategy, by the way, was to file the lawsuit before he took the stand. Brilliant move, Kimberly. That basically decimated his testimony during the Kyle Rittenhouse trial and made him easy fodder for the defense and probably took out any chance he had of ever winning any kind of lawsuit in the future. But that's not my problem, and that's not what we're talking about today. The question is that should Gaige Grosskreutz be charged with attempted murder? And the answer is no. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnnie Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnnie Walker Dread Show.
I've been defending a little punk Kyle Rittenhouse now for over a year, and I will continue to defend him. And as part of that, I've bent over backwards and I've examined the laws and I've expended great effort in trying to get everybody to understand that how the law applies to him. We have to do the same thing for Gaige Grosskreutz. It's called being fair. It's called being balanced. Ye who wants him charged with attempted murder doesn't understand attempted murder. Let me explain. Gaige Grosskreutz certainly pulled his pistol on Kyle and he held it and pointed it at him. That's not attempted murder. He didn't pull the trigger. So how do you know that he was planning to pull the trigger? You have no evidence of that whatsoever. Now, is he guilty of gun charges? Yeah. Walking around with a concealed gun with no valid permit? That should get him some charges, and it's not going to because we're talking about Thomas Claire Binger as the assistant district attorney in that county, and it's not going to happen. And Mike Gravely, Binger's boss, is no better. So don't be looking for Gaige Grosskreutz to be charged with anything in the near future, and that's for another video. But what about attempted murder? Well, again, if you can find me evidence to show that Gaige Grosskreutz was going to pull that trigger and murder Kyle, let me see it, but I don't see it. He can claim that he was simply trying to hold Kyle at gunpoint to prevent him from shooting other people. And while we may laugh out loud about that, it's his testimony and we don't have any evidence to the contrary. So it's a dumb argument to claim that Gaige Grosskreutz should be charged with attempted murder. And I would highly recommend we stop making that argument because it makes us look like we're biased. We should examine the law fairly at all times. Now, I'm not sticking up for Gaige in the way he handled things. First of all, his testimony during the trial that he's just not the kind of guy that would open fire on somebody, even though he's a concealed carry weapon holder, although he wasn't really, it was an expired certificate, simply makes no sense at all. The whole point of carrying a gun is to use it when you have to, when your life is threatened or somebody else's life is threatened. And if you have a moral issue with actually snuffing out somebody's life in order to save your own or somebody else's, then you shouldn't be carrying a gun because you're simply not somebody that people can depend on when the chips are down. And so he's an irresponsible gun owner. Well, first of all, carrying a gun around when you don't have a valid CCW is kind of silly in the first place. But if you're not willing to use it when people need you to, what's the point? Like my video, subscribe to my channel, and I don't care if you get pissed off.